Long time for this one to roll around. The Stanley Cup playoffs so far have been excellent. The Oilers get their chance with the Ducks tonight, as we mentioned, just after 8 o'clock. And remember, pregame coverage. We're putting the boys to work. Walker, Paulson, Landon Ferraro, 6 o'clock start tonight. Every single game. 8 o'clock start, 8:20. The boys are doing 2-hour pregame. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440. Low Tide Gregor will have you up to date on all that happens throughout the next couple hours before puck drop. We can also talk other things if you'd like, other matchups around. The Raptors, the NFL draft is 4 days away. But I got a feeling at 1-833-401-1440 or our emails, Connor at sports1440.ca, Brandon at sports1440.ca. I think it's going to be a lot of Oilers talk. Duke, good morning. How are you feeling? You don't have your Ducks jersey on right now.
No, I didn't entertain the notion of a jersey, but I did think about putting on a Ducks hat.
Or from face paint, maybe?
Yeah.
For the camera?
I'm just going to write with like charcoal from the bottom of my barbecue. It's Ducks across my face. No, tell you what, maybe for game 2, I'll come a little more adorned regardless of tonight's result. You know, show my support. Maybe the team will hear about it and play harder. Yeah. These are all things that are possibly on the table. So I had a great weekend. Really enjoyed the opening handful of games from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Saturday and Sunday kind of spread out nicely that you got a full day's worth of action on both. Bit of a catch-22 because the weather was finally a little bit nicer. Did not leave my apartment yesterday. Not even my unit. Like, didn't even go down the stairs. Nothing. Elevator's broken right now, so that might have played a role as well. 5 flights of stairs didn't seem very inviting.
The couch and hockey just seemed a little bit more tempting.
Oh, it's perfect. I had some leftovers in the fridge, whipped up some fresh supper last night. I was in heaven. Kismet. And really good games. Like all the ones yesterday kind of coming down to the wire. Got an overtime matchup. Really can't ask for much more. And then you had the basketball NBA playoffs mixed in around as well, and the Blue Jays finally winning a game.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying to you out at the bar, after Hoffman on Saturday,
you were out.
I just had to take a break, a day away from it all. And then especially we were seeing family. So when we got to a house, it was like, oh, let's watch hockey. Let's get the hockey. Kings and Avs was a fun one. Duke, I've been someone who's long said, if I were to get high sticked or a stick was near my face, I would probably overreact. And even I thought Josh Manson sold that one in game 1 between the Kings and the Avalanche. He got absolutely attacked. He was mauled by that high stick that grazed his face, I think, just a little bit. But I think the scenes in Buffalo were probably what everybody would say would be the best moment of the weekend. Obviously, to start the game, maybe not the best. It got pretty awesome. And the scenes in Buffalo, like that's a fan
the guys out in the street on the rollerblades attacking the boxing dummy in the Bruins jersey, but not before taking a little tumble. I don't know if he caught that during the one. I don't know if it was intermission or commercial. They showed that footage. Yeah, it's awesome to see. You see the excitement there. Montreal, the way they stuck around in that game, and Slavkovsky was unbelievable essentially the whole night. Tampa kind of had him on the ropes at times, but they held themselves in it enough, and power play shone through. Like I said, I'm not sure. Like apart from the drubbing that Minnesota gave Dallas on Saturday, the rest of the games were all tight, were all close, and made for some great entertainment. Hopefully that carries over into the game 2s of each of those respective series tonight, and then, of course, game 1 between Edmonton and Anaheim.
Yeah, it should be great. Obviously, we're going to kind of wait and see here what the Oilers lineup looks like when it gets going. Gregor reporting, he got a question actually about Jason Dickinson. He says, don't have any confirmation. Gut says yes, but haven't been able to confirm it. That would be interesting. Draisaitl ready to go. Not on the ice for the optional, but was out earlier. Knobloch wouldn't confirm, but per Gregor, it looks like Leon Draisaitl will be out there ready to go. So, well, the usage will be interesting. And let me ask you this one, Brandon, as an opposition. Leon Draisaitl out there coming off injury. Do you put him out there to center his own line, or do you potentially get him back out there with Connor McDavid to have a bit of a running mate? The problem with that is you're playing north of 20 minutes almost automatically, unless you take a couple of shifts off, but you're going to get power play time. Like, how do you think they handle Leon?
I think if he's cleared to play, you're rolling him out there as you would with maybe a slight pullback on minutes, if you can even entertain that notion, right? And the game script will dictate that. The only issue I would see with potentially letting him ride shotgun with McDavid instead is that it kind of throws off. Like, the Oilers have plenty of centers, but as they're currently deployed, you'd have to shuffle your entire lineup around essentially, right? Where now all of a sudden you're asking probably Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to come up and play second line center. Now you slide someone that like does Savoy now slide down to that third line with Roslovic and Dickinson, right? And then you still got a couple centermen there. So it would create some problems that I don't know if the coaching staff are interested in right now, because this current execution of the lineup looks to be their best version of it, right? And that's with the assumption that Dickinson plays as well, which, as you just said, we're not 100% certain of either, though it looks likely at this point. So I would think if he's good to go, if the training staff, medical staff gives him the green light, he'll be out there between Podkolzin and Kapanen.
I would agree with you. If you're good to go, you're good to go. Get out there, skate around. If there's any changes, obviously, we'll see it. So if Dickinson gets back into the lineup, third line center right there, probably with Nuge, Roslovic, and then fourth line, Enrique, Frederick Duck. I mean, Szymanski, Chris Lazar, obviously out
on
of the
standby
lineup.
If one or both of those other two guys can't go, right?
I really like listening to, I think it was Landon Ferraro with you guys last week, and talking about how Colton Dock has kind of dragged Trent Frederick into the battles. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to go throw that extra hit. I'm going to do that little thing. And Frederick will do it. Maybe just needs a little bit of a prodding.
Right.
And he has, like we said, like he's gotten back into it. So I do like that fourth line. Third line, we'll see how Dickinson looks. Not confirming that he's playing, but Gregor has the gut feeling he will get out there. Obviously, that's a really good thing for the Edmonton Oilers when you're rolling McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, and then Adam Henrique down on that fourth line. We talked about, and in this city, a lot of times people say, well, who's going to be the Fernando Pisani? Who's going to be that guy? I kind of asked Gregor last week, who do you think the X factor will be for me or for you? And like Roslovic was my pick. Like, I think if he chips in offensively, that could be big. But what do you think about Matthew Savoy?
That was my pick.
That's your pick?
I had the same question on In or Out with Eddie and Kevin this morning. I said for the Oilers, it's Savoy because he can still be a versatile player for you in your lineup, but the way he's meshed with McDavid and Hyman up top gives you that flexibility to balance your lines a little bit more, where all of a sudden your third line, yeah, you can look at it as kind of a checking line with what Dickinson provides, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a very savvy defensive player himself, but you still have the offensive upside of it from Nuge, 20 goal man this year, plenty of upside in the past, and then the skill element of Roslovic too. So, but all of a sudden you hit a little bit of a skid and things aren't going your way. Do you need to bump Nuge up there? Okay, no problem. Savoy can play on the third line as well. He's shown that throughout this year that he can kind of be a chameleon and blend in with whoever is his centerman, whoever is his other winger, kill the penalties, the power play. He did a good job filling in there. We saw that most notably, of course, in that season finale against Vancouver, right? Yep. So I'm picking Savoy, and if he can keep playing as he has and contributing, chipping in offensively with all the other elements as he has the last couple months, really post-Olympic break especially, I think the Oilers are in a really good spot forward group-wise.
Yeah, I mean, and for him, like, you don't have to tell him to, ramp it up a little bit. Like, he plays with that tenacity. He's going to be in there. And there's always something about that guy who's, like, undersized. He's not 6'3". He's just kind of a pain in the you-know-what on the forecheck. And I think, he's got that ability also to score goals. He's kind of taken everything in stride here since the Olympic break. He's really found his game. Obviously, it gets ramped up in the playoffs, but to have this veteran lineup that you have in the Edmonton Oilers, I think that's really big for Savoy, and I'm fired up to see what he gets to do. What hometown team playoffs, riding shotgun with Connor McDavid. I feel cool. Like he's going to be pretty juiced for this one.
But is it possible a guy gets too juiced?
Well, we saw him take that penalty in overtime,
trying to do a little too much.
And that, like, I kind of say, hey, that's his game. Those things will happen
for sure.
But you're right. I mean, hey, play your game. Nothing after the whistle. Maybe a little talking. But yeah, I think that you'll take that penalty every once in a while. But I do think that that's probably something you try to keep the emotions in check as well. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Tiger texting in said, hey, do you guys see how respectful the Buffalo fans were? They knocked down a barrier while cheering, and they were cool and pulled it back up.
I did see that. Kind of funny, actually.
I feel that there is a respect for the Buffalo Sabres fans amongst Oilers fans because they understand what they've been through to a certain extent, not quite as long as the Buffalo Sabres and the Sabres and, intentionally trying to tank.
The Oilers fans feel a little guilty.
I don't think so.
They essentially stole Connor McDavid from Buffalo.
Nah. You shouldn't have been tanking like that. You can't put all your eggs in a basket.
Oh, yeah, because the Oilers were really competitive.
More competitive than the Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres.
What about the years before? What about the couple years before that?
I think the Oilers were trying. They just weren't good.
That's a good point.
I think they were not a good team. They weren't selling off everyone at the deadline. Like they brought out Taylor Hall
They
and
traded
Everlyn.
Ryan Smith.
That was like 2007.
Exactly. That was the start.
That was
I don't know if you're aware, Connor. It was a decade of
that
darkness.
was way before. Smitty wasn't. Well, we don't have to get into that one. They were.
He came back.
That was the start of it. Buffalo was like really going all off, and then they, that was one aspect of it. But then, as they brought in these good players, they trade them away, and then they go win cups.
Yeah,
Reinhart,
Eichel.
Maybe there's more, but those two stand out.
Wasn't there another Sabre on Florida? That's one in the last 2 years. Maybe Brandon Montour is one. Not that he was drafted there or anything, but he did go on to win a cup with the Panthers.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Came up big, but just for them to get there, I think that was one of the good things. How far will they go? Who knows? I mean, obviously they've been fantastic.
I like him in the first round.
Yeah, hard to disagree. What, Tage Thompson, 2 goals?
He's a good player.
That guy gets going. Watch out.
Like that, and it almost feels like Tage Thompson has kind of really come into his own here in the past 3 seasons. Was it 2 years ago? He scored 40 plus, a little bit of a down year, and then back to his tricks this season. Like that looks like a guy that it would seem criminal to not get the chance to play some playoff hockey here as he enters his prime years, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know Alex Tuck is that type of player. We saw it in his time with Vegas as one of the original misfits before being part of the Eichel trade. Yeah, and then even a guy like Dahlin, who we talked quite a bit about down the stretch as he entered the Norris Trophy conversation. Great skater, offensive instincts, solid defender, but he's kind of got that little bit of a piss and vinegar to him as well that just seems like it was built for playoff hockey. You have to be happy for the city Buffalo Sabres fans. They're very passionate, and they're finally getting a little bit of a reward here.
Absolutely. Hey, they had a long run of like Bills and Sabres being
terrible.
Just
terrible.
The struggles were there, and now it looks like things are turning around. A new stadium. Josh Allen's a dad. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but it's cool. Also, just a text coming in here from MTR. Oilers' first playoff game and Trent Williams contract extension. LeBron James photo. I think the quote is, "I can't believe this is my life," or something along those lines. Brandon Aubrey, highest paid kicker in the NFL.
Rich.
And then how about the Cincinnati Bengals? Young Josh Fenwick, gleeful over the weekend. Sexy Dexy.
Should he be?
Yes.
He's a really good player.
For now, he should be very happy.
10th overall pick.
Yeah. But they suck at drafting.
I thought the conversation was cool that people were like, it might only be a second rounder. You get a top 10 pick.
Matt Money Smith covers the Chargers, somewhat connected in the NFL. He's like, yeah, if, the Chargers 22, you could swap that with the Giants for their second and probably get it done. No, not the case. $28 million extension 1 year.
So so Connor, to you, do you credit the Bengals for getting off their wallets and making a move to take advantage of the Joe Burrow window and a little bit of uncertainty moving forward with his future with the team? Or do you say this is a move that kind of reeks of desperation and overpayment for, like I said, a really good player, but we're talking top 10 draft capital?
How long is the average NFL career? 3.5 years?
Yeah, I was going to say like 3 years.
I think that Dexter Lawrence would be the best interior defensive lineman in this draft. You're not going to get a better interior defensive lineman at 10. And also, look at their draft history.
The Bengals suck at drafting.
Do you remember? Shamar Stewart, hey, hoping for the best for him. Their previous first-round pick, Amarius Mims.
Plugging away on the line.
Miles Murphy.
Who dat?
8.5 sacks since being drafted in the first round. Daxton Hill. Remember Daxton?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Jamar Chase was pretty good.
Well, yeah, those are the freebies.
The freebies have been good. But yeah, I just think like it is a lot and you got to pay him. But I think it does send a good message. Like this guy's really good. And statistically, if you look at his sacks, the numbers dropped off this year, but this guy's eating double teams. When it comes to pressures, when you're playing like lined up over the center, he's far and away the best in the league and has been for a while. So I like it. I assume Josh, thumbs up. He's happy about it. I think it's a good move, but I think it's fair to question it. Like I think there's fuel on both sides to like throw out things that are wrong with it, but I like it for the New York Giants now. Just don't miss on these next picks. I think they had 2 first-round picks a few years ago, took Thibodeau and Neal.
Things were looking really good for Thibodeau.
Yeah.
And he's still very young.
And I don't think they're going to pick up the 5th-year option. I don't know. But now you get rid of $28 million or whatever the contract is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you do. Dexter Lawrence isn't worth a top 10 pick. I'm sorry. We're going to find out. Well, let's look back in 5 years and see who the Giants take and how it works out. Maybe who else would have been around there. But with the Bengals draft history, I don't know. I guess I like the aggressiveness. Brad the Driver says Savoy is the 2026 version of Yamamoto. I like watching Yamamoto with Utah. Didn't get the result yesterday, but undersized guy, tenacious. I would say that Savoy has more offensive upside, which is a good thing. Also can PK. And I think he's bigger than Yamamoto, isn't he? Yamamoto was 5'8".
Oh, listed. Let's just say neither guy is particularly large. But I think a credit to both of them is that they both play larger than their physical stature would lead you to believe. Now, for Yamamoto, that had some negative consequences because resulted in him banged up a little bit with he wanted to be a physical player and set tones despite being smaller. Savoy, we've seen him have that element to him, but he's a very intelligent player, not saying Yamamoto isn't, but he picks his spots and he's found this niche of being with McDavid where you kind of just put yourself in the right spots and he'll find you and finish.
Savoy, 5'10", 180 on Hockey DB. Yamamoto, 5'9", 178. I never really understood the whole lying about your height. Like, once you make the NHL, you are who you are. They've all put it out there. I remember talking to Elks comms guys in the past, and they'd be like, yo, why do you have me at 6'1"? Put me at 6'3". Like, what does it matter? Well, on the field, you don't grow.
That was a little bit of a storyline at the start of this MLB season because with new ABS, they needed like exact measurements. Like each player got measured by ABS to set up this automatic balls and strikes system. And a couple guys just got absolutely torched where they were like listed at 6'1" and they're actually 5'8".
Yeah. When everyone would see it, like outfielders hugging after a game and one guy's clearly like 4 inches shorter. It's not 6'1". Like, why lie about it? You can't control it. You're silly to me. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into the game tonight. Oilers and Ducks. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
When my husband and I said until death do us part, I never expected to find myself at the doorstep of divorce. I was facing an uncertain financial future, expensive lawyer bills, and most importantly, I was concerned for the well-being of my kids. My spouse and I turned to Fairway Divorce Solutions for help. Fairway walked us through a step-by-step process, allowing us to develop a clear roadmap to resolve financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auction is this Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, vacs, pickers, service, shunt, and tank trucks, plus more. Info at maauctions.com.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands, including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring Japa equipment rentals, realignment with 5 2022 to 2020 XCMG 250U, 300U, 360U, and 490U excavators. Search Japa at maauctions.com.
I got guns in my head and they won't go.
Every coach needs a game plan. Plan your fantasy frenzy with Halley and Douglas right here on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhock Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky online. WilhockBeefJerky.com. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fennick, Mackenzie McLennan with you here from the Sports 1440 studio in West Edmonton Mall. Speaking of the mall, Oilers jerseys everywhere. Everyone's repping the team here on the west side of Edmonton, except for the Duke, who's looking at flights to go to Anaheim right now.
I'm just checking in.
Fly into LAX.
What does a quick little turnaround look like for a man on Friday?
Just say you're a child. Maybe it'll be cheaper.
I could pass as a child. I'm pretty small.
I am Brandon.
Height-wise. Yeah, they're trying to give me like a toddler seat. I'm just like spilling out of it. Do those exist?
No. You've been on planes.
Well, maybe the special planes. Maybe in first class they have like special children's seats or something. I don't know.
You ever sat first class?
Not that I recall.
No. My buddy paid us to upgrade once leaving Vegas back to Edmonton. It was like it didn't feel like first class, but it was like $30 a ticket. So you got free food and drink.
That's always nice.
But after 5 nights in Vegas, it was tough. I think I had some Pringles and wine gums or something. Shout out Jeff. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. This segment is for elksnation.ca, 2-weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth W football coverage. Go check it out, elksnation.ca. That'll have the links to the video, podcast, and of course the articles. Lance texting in says, hey, try not to cry too hard, Brandon, when your Ducks get smoked. That'd be hilarious if you just started crying.
Yeah, don't.
On air.
Just breaking down.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, don't count on that happening regardless of result. Even if it's the 8-0 MTR prediction, I don't expect any tears to be shed.
Yeah, I feel like you might punch a pillow or something.
I'll just like pet my cats extra hard.
Not too hard, but
Nah, just,
extra
like,
hard.
push on their head.
Firm. That song is the new Late on the Line from MTR. Yeah, Late on the Line was way better, though.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. The first time I heard that Late on the Line commercial last year, I was fired up.
What about the millionth time you've heard it by halfway through the first round?
Still fired up. Every time I hear it, I'm fired up. That song just makes me think of like hipsters in fedoras out by a fire or something.
I'll be honest. I still get fired up by Late on the Line.
How could you not?
Like, I was right in the thick of all the jokes about it last year. I had the whole summer off from it. I'm ready. They should just run it back.
That little music playing before, like it was a good spot.
That quick little riff,
yeah,
on the guitar.
I'm with you. James says, "Don't fly into LAX, fly into John Wayne." Now, can he get into John Wayne?
Connor just told me that's for private PJs only.
I don't know if it is for sure.
It's not even as an option on here.
Yeah, I think it's like exclusive.
I'm seeing LAX, SNA, which is the Orange County, Burbank, and Ontario.
Home of the rain.
Something tells me I don't want to fly into Ontario.
Why? I've flown in there at once, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it far?
We used to go every couple of years. My grandparents had a spot in Palm Springs. So it was, I think it made sense.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for you, it wouldn't make much sense. Maybe you could just get airlifted right to the rink. And you just propel out.
That would be cool.
Did you see that skydiver person who
at VTech
flew into the scoreboard? Oh my gosh.
Didn't you send me that video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you don't watch the videos I send.
No, I always do because I know they're gold. But yeah, I believe the caption was not a great start for James Franklin's tenure at VTech.
Oh, man. Hopefully they're okay. Greater Man Jay texting in. Hey, guys. Just curious. Has a team been as lucky as the Oilers in the draft lottery? Like they were able to get McDavid, Draisaitl? Well, I think that the Draisaitl, I mean, he was third overall, right? That was the Reinhard Ekblad draft. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, they were lucky, but other teams passed on Leon Draisaitl. Connor McDavid was by far the luckiest. I think we were at the anniversary of that a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I would guarantee that like, all of our listeners who are old enough remember exactly where they were for that. I was sitting at our house in Malmo Plains, and it was selected. And it was me, my buddy Justin, and then our friend Bobby, who was actually a Ducks fan. And they won the lottery, and we did shots to celebrate. My parents went to Wendy's. They texted me, "What happened?" People are cheering at Wendy's. Like it was massive when it happened. So yeah, that was very fortunate for the Oilers. The Draisaitl, I don't think quite as much, because other teams could have had him, but they were certainly in a good spot to get him. Islanders jumped up quite a bit this year, didn't they?
They get Schaefer.
Yeah, that's good luck. That's fortunate.
Yeah, certainly looking that way now.
Our good friend Trent Wilhock flying to LAX on Thursday. Easiest way to go.
That's what I'm seeing as well. The Friday flights are not very inspiring.
No.
If I were to do this, it would require a Thursday departure, I'm guessing, to make it more feasible. Let's just take a look at what that means instead.
We do have people. AZ says you can check out the United website, and then Phil says Alaska flies into John Wayne as well.
I'm seeing Alaska Airlines, and I believe my aunt works for Alaska Airlines. Maybe she can help me out.
Quick little discount.
I'd be staying an extra night, which isn't necessary. I mean, this is why I want to take you with me, so you can show me the ropes of SoCal. You can show me all the good spots with all my spare time I'm going to have.
Yeah, we'll get a nice motel by Disneyland.
Okay.
That would be so awesome if we could take the show on the road for 2 nights or something, 2 days. It'd be tough to say bye to the family, but for work, you got to do it. Got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Got to pay the bills.
At a separate TV on, started cheering up and down, hugging with the host. Slick Rick. Yeah, man. I bet that was the McDavid lottery, I'm sure. John says it seems that Oilers fans are underestimating the Ducks. Bad idea. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, we did our predictions. Mackenzie went around and got everybody's picks. Declan had Oilers in 4. I had Oilers in 6. Duke, you had...
I had Oilers in 7.
7. Josh, you had
Ducks in 7.
in 3. Mackenzie, what did you have? Oilers in 6.
Yeah, Oilers in 6.
So like I don't know. I kind of feel like everybody, maybe not everybody. MTR has an 8-0 win tonight for the Oilers. I think the Ducks would take a couple. I mean, Oilers fans probably that are diehard Oilers fans might be unfamiliar with the Ducks and some of the players that they're going to see now for a bunch of games in a row. You might learn a thing or two. I still think the Oilers should win, especially if Leon Draisaitl's back and healthy. You get the goaltending you need, or you play the defensive style that you can. There's probably going to be a game. History tells us that there's going to be one game at least in the 4 to 7 that they let get out of control and have some sloppy defense. But I guess we're going to see. MTR says you could find a Chargers draft night party, make it worth Connor's time. Oh yeah.
If we go on Thursday,
yeah, we go to like Coronado Beach or something like that. Meet Michael Badgley. Sorry, Cameron Dicker.
The actual flight availability is one thing. The price is another, because on this particular website that I'm using, they have a price tracker over on the side. 160 days ago, this flight would have cost like $300. Now there's nothing for less than $1,000.
It is 3 days, right?
I thought last minute's good. I thought there's like a window, and this is once again coming from somebody who has very little experience traveling anywhere. Long range, more affordable, and then dead last minute, also affordable. So right now I'm just in the bad spot of this last minute, but not last minute enough.
Yeah, I feel like if you wait too long, you're getting the milk run. Is that what they call it?
Sure.
Calgary, Vancouver, Denver, Salt Lake City, Vegas, LA.
But I'll get there.
Gregor has the expected lineup over on his X. Savoy, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Kapanen, Nuge, Dickinson, Roslovic with Doc, Henrique, Frederick on the back end, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Murphy, Wallman, Emberson, Connor, Ingram between the pipes. It'll be the first time this season that all these 19 players have played in the same game.
Wow.
So, very interesting. Actually, another guy I'm kind of looking forward to seeing is Connor Murphy in the playoffs. Like, he spoke about how he did play in the playoffs. It was the bubble year, and there's no fans. Interested to see what he's going to be doing. So, tell me, Duke, when you look at the Anaheim Ducks lineup, Nurse and Murphy are your shutdown pair.
Yeah.
Who do they get?
Yeah, it's a good question, because Anaheim, and we talked about this morning on the Carey Show, like they kind of spread out their offense a little bit, right? Like their 3 leading scorers are all guys 21 and under. Like the oldest player is 21 years old. But they usually bounce. Like Carlson plays on one line, Cutter Gauthier, Beckett Seneca will play on another, Cutter Gauthier on a third. Like in those 3 is kind of your offensive leaders, if you want to call it that. Based on this season and how they played against the Oilers, I have to think like Alex Killorn, Beckett Seneca, and Mikael Granlund would kind of profile out as the most dangerous line. They were the best line when they played here. They were very effective again when they met later in the season. Maybe that's what you would look at. They also have size-wise, if you're talking about, and all 4 of the Oilers top 4D, are pretty big, right? Even Bouchard and Ekholm. So that's not much of a factor, but Seneca, Killorn, and Granlund do pose a physical element as well to matchup wise. So maybe that's where he would go. But I have to think that probably Chris Knoblauch's pretty comfortable rolling his top 4D out just against the Ducks' top 3 lines, because they are kind of like I said, of that balanced nature. Things change and they need to load up all of a sudden and try and shake things in a different direction. Well, then we'll see if Chris Knoblauch makes any adjustments.
We will.
Because I also, if I'm trying to get in the mind of Joel Quenneville, doesn't have last change, but if he's trying some on-the-fly line matching, who's going to be out there against Connor McDavid's line? I also think that could very well be the Granlund, Seneca, Killorn line. Could also be the third line, McTavish, Poehling, and Gauthier. As Poehling's kind of their shutdown center guy. But hey, it's kind of all on the table. I'm really interested to see how both teams handle that, or if they care at all, if they're comfortable just rolling lines here to get a little feel for each other to start anyway.
It is funny just on the, not talking about the forwards, but just going through the lineup here and, the back end, some young talent, up and comers for sure. But Radko Gudas is the guy stealing the headlines for a lot of Oilers fans on social media. And I've kind of laughed because you said it for so long. Like, he's a third pairing guy and he's not that good anymore.
No.
if he's out there against Connor McDavid, that's an advantage for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, someone had sent in a joke about it. I think MTR followed up saying, yeah, I don't think they'll be out there very much at the same time. And yeah, if the Ducks can help it, they will not want him on the ice at the same time because he's third pairing D-man. You want your third pairing out against the opponent's best player in the world? Probably not. In a combination, I would think the Jackson Lacombe, John Carlson pairing will be, or Jacob Trouba pairing will be most likely tasked with trying to slow down McDavid. Lacombe from a skating perspective, and then Trouba more of that physical. Like he's Gudis-ish, but still a more capable top four defenseman at this stage of his career.
I look at him and I think the closer you get to the net, the more of a threat he becomes.
Yeah,
he can get nasty.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it before. So if he gets you. But as we said with Connor McDavid, you got to get there first. You got to catch up to him. So it's going to be fun. Can't wait for this one. The countdown is on. Gruff says, take Benny with you to guys trip. Oh, yeah.
He can sit in one of these kid seats that we're talking about. Or is Benny small enough he's allowed to just sit on your lap?
I think he'd have to sit on my lap.
He has to? He's not allowed to have his own seat?
Well, I don't know. We've never traveled with him.
Well, this is a good feeling out thing. You and I can do it. Two guys and a baby. Before you and Ashley and Benny take a family trip. You can work out all the kinks.
Less stress.
I'm sure my inclusion in this would make it less stressful.
You have to change his diaper.
I'm a great help. I have no problem changing diapers.
His vocabulary is a lot of, yeah. So he could probably contribute as much as I do sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1-833-401-1440. Jay says they will miss Szymanski. Well, and the good thing is, if something happens, they will have him ready to go. It's one of those luxuries they have. You lose a game, you want to make a little bit of a shakeup. Szymanski could draw back in. Curtis Lazar, another guy. We'll wait and see. AZ followed that one up. Hot take. Enrique might be starting the first round, but if the Oilers are going to make it to the finals, Szymanski would start game one. Book it. You know what? I mean, hey, I think that we've seen Josh Szymanski and what he can do. I think that if this goes on, he's going to be called upon at some point. There's going to be bumps and injuries, and at some point, the depth will be tested. We've seen it every year. Remember, Kapanen got in last year and really took advantage of it. I mean, it happens every single year. So I would agree that I think Szymanski gets in. The longer this thing goes, the more the chances that he does get in there, and we'll see. We'll see if it is at the cost of Henrique. 1-833-401-1440. Husk says, CH, I did the milk run back from Taiwan. 56 hours. Worst trip ever.
God. Like that's a long trip to begin with. Yeah. But then you turn it into this milk run type debacle. There's a lot of different possible layovers and connections between here and, what do you say, Taiwan? Or Thailand?
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Magician Tom says, flight's expensive. There's this thing going on called a war affecting oil.
Yeah, I hear that has an impact.
I was driving in, dropped down to $1.44 for gas.
Oh, good. I'm going for gas today.
Today is the day. Greater Man Jay says, I decided to wear a jersey today. Support the boys. Predicted last night that I was going to get it dirty at work. 10 minutes into the day, and Greater decided to mark my jersey with some dirty grease. I guess it's a Ducks fan. Grease or oil?
Grease.
Maybe you could just call it an oil
get
stain.
Greasy.
If you were, how many Oilers fans do we see tonight in like oil rig
hunting
gear?
Oh,
well, we're hunting, yeah, with fake ducks and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there's going to be some boys in the overalls, no shirt underneath, wearing pit vipers.
Yeah. Well, are we talking in the building or in the moss pit or both? Hundreds, thousands, maybe.
Yeah. I was talking to Mackenzie. She says she aged out of the moss pit. Too old.
Good news. We got more young bucks around here. Josh, it's a late game. Morning show starts pretty early. Do with that information as you so choose.
Don't sleep.
Yeah. No, don't go home and go to sleep.
Donovan can go. He doesn't have to be in early in the morning. We'll send him.
He's got post game.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can do that remotely, right?
We'll figure it out. He'll head back after. We'll take a break. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440. We'll start off with Craig when we return. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers The Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
It's playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker. Join us for the Titan Supply pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
You started wearing it to guys' night.
Nice toque, you hoser.
Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
It's not what you know, it's where you heard it. Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas, exclusively on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhock Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$45. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. I got a text from Shay out in Hamilton. Malmo Plains, what are the chances? Malmo Elementary alum. Never thought I'd hear the name again, let alone on the Sports 1440 airwaves. Well, that's why we listen, right? You never know what you're going to hear. The Malmo school would always give us Christmas cards and just drop it off in the mailbox. Such a nice gesture. The spelling in some of them was hilarious. It was so off, but that's elementary. That's the way it is. That's why we write. That's why we learn. Shout out for Shay for listening all the way from Hamilton. You got to get out there one of these days. But I think it would be a quick stop as I drive to Buffalo to watch a Bills game. Ideally against the Chargers. Fantasy Frenzy brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online, WilhockBeefJerky.com. Only available in Leduc. I highly recommend you go out there today. Grab a bag or 2 or 3, check out what they got, and get it ready for the game because that would probably be the best snack you can have.
Do you think Trent's pumped about Brandon Aubrey being rich?
I think so. He's a heck of a kicker.
Longest leg in the league.
Listen, you're a Texans fan. I don't know your history of kickers, but I can tell you as a Chargers fan, when you get a kicker, if he's as good as Brandon Aubrey, you pay him and you keep him because it's not going to be $50 million. It's going to be maybe you're paying him the most, but if he's reliable, take it every day.
Yeah, kickers are, and I know Declan's was on this soapbox this past season to eliminate kickers from the NFL. I'm not sure we might get there someday, maybe not anytime soon. It just seems so simple, right? Like you have one job. You literally do not have to do anything else. How are you so inconsistent at it for certain guys?
I don't know.
And then they keep getting jobs too, which is also confusing. But no, for the Texans, they've had Kymie Fairbairn for the last number of years, and he's not a guy that's ever going to hit a 70-yarder like is in Brandon Aubrey's range hypothetically, but he has been quite consistent and steady, which has been good.
If you're like automatic from inside 50 and pretty good from inside 55,
that's kind of where Fairbairn is. Like at 50, he's pretty good. Extra points, doesn't have that that knock of missing those sporadically, and that can cripple you sometimes, right? If all of a sudden you need to make it a 1-score game and a missed extra point keeps it at 2 touches, that makes it difficult. So and just sticking with Trent and Wilhock very quickly, wonder if he'll just take me with him. He's going on Thursday.
A Ducks fan?
I'll be his Benny.
I don't think he's taking a Ducks fan.
I won't wear a jersey, not when I'm with him.
show up at the airport. Hey, Trent, your face is painted.
Hey, Trent, it's me.
I lost your ticket.
Yeah, sorry. No, he just like walks right past me.
Yeah.
Sir, do you know that man? No.
Yeah. Never seen that man in my life. Craig says the Oilers' timing could not be better in reference to having a full roster, including a couple very useful forwards sitting in the press box. This is the least I've known about the team starting the playoffs. Well, yeah, and I think it's so good. Obviously, it's all on Knobloch and co to select the right guys and get them all out there. But I just think the captain last year, when he got out there, he was flying. And anytime, whether it is a Szymanski or Lazar, you get that opportunity to get out there, like, it'll be juiced. So, yeah, it's a really good problem to have.
And this text came in. It was followed up from Jay about he thinks that, they're going to miss Szymanski in the lineup. And his next one is that if it was an actual meritocracy, Szymanski would play. He says it's disappointing from the coach. I get where you're coming from because Szymanski has done everything really asked of him, and he may not be exceptional in any specific area of the game, but he's acquitted himself very well as kind of that 3/4 line centerman, and particularly playing between Doc and Frederick. It's kind of been like a crash and tumble type line, bang some bodies and make things happen on a forecheck. I hear it, but at the same time, I think come playoff time, you want a little like. Clearly, the staff is moving towards the experience and leaning on having been there before. And Adam Henrique, at this stage of his career, he is just a 4th-line centerman. But he's a pretty savvy face-off guy. The penalty killing right now is still probably better, even if marginally, than what Szymanski can provide in that same role. So if I'm being very upfront, Jay, and for a lot of the reasons I just listed out, if there was a spot where Henrique's coming out, I think Lazar would be my first guy in. But Szymanski would certainly be very much in the conversation of one of the 2 extra forwards right now.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's going to come quick. There's going to be a lot of games soon, and we're going to find out, hey, if Henrique is the guy out, what is the decision made and who goes in? And, a couple good picks there. Joe says the gunslinger. Are you the gunslinger? Maybe your name is Joe. Says it's good to know that Pickard is back with the Oilers to back up Ingram. I just always think back to our good friend Rich Winter, who said, "We'll have lunch when you're up with the team in the playoffs." And of course, it happens. Husk says this was the trip from Taiwan home. Taiwan, Hong Kong, Houston, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary, then Edmonton. Versus Geneva to save a couple $100.
That's quite the runaround.
That's a lot. 1-833-401-1440. I had a kind of a laugh at this one because I've never seen this nickname. Hey, it's Scotteroni here.
Scotteroni.
Pass this to Duke if he has any questions about going to LA. Craig could also said do a little drive through Compton. I've driven through Compton twice.
And?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you blast NWA?
No. The one time we were young. And the next, leaving the airport, it's kind of right around there, right? So Go down there. Listen, we're during like 1 PM. It's not quite what you hear in the songs, or maybe Straight Outta Compton, the movie, the motion picture.
Good movie.
Oh, yeah, really good movie.
Great soundtrack.
Rocket says, my lacrosse team I always coached at practices at Malmo Rink. Yeah, there you go. Grew up with a lot of guys there in Park Allen. I'm familiar with the area. HVAC Nick says, are you guys throwing out the idea to take away kickers completely in football and only score points off touchdowns?
Well, not us.
I'm not saying that.
Declan has broached that topic in this past year.
I will say when they just abruptly decided to move the extra point back 10 yards or whatever, I thought it was so stupid. Like who ever had that idea? Guys, in our game, nothing's wrong, but we should make it tougher on kickers for the extra point.
Yeah, kickers already have so much to worry about.
It's just like, did we need to do that? I don't think so.
Now we're asking them to think about stuff with the new dynamic kickoff rules and things like that. Life's getting tough for kickers. It makes sense that they're getting paid more now.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Brandon Aubrey has now set the new market for kickers. Going rate $7 million.
He deserves it.
20 million guaranteed.
Is it? Good for him. Good for him. Hey, if you're the best at your craft, you deserve to be paid.
Very true.
Even if it is a kicker in football. Jane Victoria says, Connor, you need to go with Duke and get the picture at Disneyland. It's a magical place. Well, see, the Duke thinks that Disneyland is for kids.
I'd only go to Disneyland if we were taking Benny. Do you think he'd love the roller coasters?
No, I think he'd hate it. He's not tall enough. You gotta be this tall to ride.
There's gotta be little kid roller coasters.
Maybe teacups.
Teacups are good.
We would go for this work trip we're throwing out there. And I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go to Disneyland. And you're like, that's lame, baby. I'm going to go do grown-up stuff. I'm going to go do my taxes.
I'm going to go sit on the beach. Yeah. And think about it. This whole time we could hang out with Spec.
No, he's too busy.
Well, Spec's too busy working.
But
we'll tell like, no, Spec, this is the work trip for us too.
Yeah.
We're working. Come with us.
This is where we work. We prep here. Stulo texting in 1833. Hey, gents, just tuning in. So you may have already touched on it. Do you see Savoy staying on line 1 for the foreseeable future? I know Knob loves his vet, so I'm wondering if he'll look to move Nuge back if Savoy starts to slow down in the playoffs. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, if he slows down, I don't think he'll hesitate to make a move at all. But Brandon and I both said, like, we kind of like what Savoy brings. He's technically a rookie, but he's played a full season in the NHL. Playoffs ramp it up. I think we're just kind of curious, does he get too fired up with that hometown crowd, playoff atmosphere it's going to be? But yeah, I mean, if it's not working, Stulo, I would say 100% that there would be a change made. Kicking a field goal for the win on the last play of the game has to be stressful from Craig. Totally agree.
Oh, totally.
Some guys aren't built for it. We've seen that.
They melt.
I'm always on the edge of my seat when it happens.
Laces in or laces out?
Laces out. Definitely. All right. That music means we're done. Low Tide coming up next. We got Gregor 2 to 6, and then pregame coverage with Andrew Walker from 6 till puck drop. So make sure you guys keep it locked here on Sports 1440. And Gregor's going to be out at OTR. If you're looking for a place to watch the game, go have a beer, have some nachos, some great food on the rocks on Jasper Ave. For the Duke and everyone else here, I'm Connor Halley. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Mackenzie, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com, only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games in the NHL tonight. The Oilers start their series with the Ducks at Rogers. Puck drop at 8. We've got pregame coverage with Andrew Walker at 6. Pittsburgh looks to bounce back against Philly. Sens look to even up their series in Carolina. Stars host Mini, who has the 1-0 series lead. 3 games in the NBA as their playoffs get going. Raptors are in Cleveland, tip-off at 5. Spurs host the Trailblazers. Rockets look to even up their series with the Lakers. 10 games in the MLB. Jays are on the road in Anaheim. First pitch at 7:38. Detroit and Boston already in progress. Red Sox are up 6-3 at the top of the 8th. Orioles are in KC. Cubs host the Phillies. Dodgers meet the Rockies. Athletics, Mariners have the late slate. In the NFL offseason, Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey has agreed to a 4-year extension, making him the highest paid NFL kicker with $20 million guaranteed. 49ers left tackle Trent Williams has agreed to a $50 million extension. Next on Sports 1440, the lowdown with Low Tide, Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick. I'm Mackenzie McLennan, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.